I'd rather do the intro.
Okay, well then the intro is all yours.
Bet. Let's get it.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Silence Your Cell Phones. My name's Kevin, here with my buddy, Jarrett.
What's up?
Simple yet sophisticated. I love it.
Yeah, that's me.
So this week was a fun week. I had a good time anyways. I got a lot of TV watching done. Not so many movies, but still. Jarrett,
Yes,
before
sir.
we get into anything, what did you watch this week?
A lot of anime. I think I watched like one episode of Yellowstone. Watched some Full Metal Alchemist. Started watching Dragon Ball Z. That's been my go to sleep show.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Because I know I can go in and out without it actually mattering. I watched American Psycho. I watched What a Girl Want or What Women Want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was it for my movies. It was pretty low-key. The football games Sunday I didn't have any intention of watching, but they were really good. So I ended up watching both of them, probably the best playoffs in the NFL I've seen.
The last couple of weeks in the NFL playoffs has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, so I actually spent a lot of Sunday is when I watch a lot of my movies, and then I spent all of that watching football. So not as many movies, but I got the ones that were my homework.
Cool.
And then I might watch one after we get off today.
Nice. I like it.
What about you? What'd you get into?
So I actually had a pretty chill week. I used the downtime from not having to watch Binge-worthy to also watch some different animes. I continued watching Naruto, still doing that. And it's kind of like your FMA or your DBZ where I can just go in and out, kind of pick and choose. Like I watched the tuning exams.
Yeah.
Which is like, I think for OG or like Naruto, I think it's most people's favorite arc.
Yeah, you can almost stop watching it after the tuning exams.
Yeah. Like after Sasuke leaves, like I rewatched their fight, which was
dope,
insane, especially for the time. I did watch Mad Max, which was my homework movie as well as Pride and Prejudice. And I got a lot to say about both of those movies. Mad Max in particular, I don't know if we've got any huge Mad Max 1979 Mel Gibson's coming out party type fans.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to like what I have to say.
Yeah, spoiler.
So there's that. But yeah, it was a relaxing week. I got to take a little time and focus on some other stuff. And I also watched the playoffs, but you know me, I'm not going to not watch them.
That's fair. At least this Sunday, we just have the Pro Bowl and no one actually cares.
Well, the Senior Bowl is this Saturday.
Yeah, no one actually cares about that either.
Well, I do.
Yeah, so. I mean, Sam Howell's going to not do anything. So
that's not true.
He's gonna get like 2 drives.
Yeah, but he's going to throw a 69-yard bomb for one of them and drive down the field and run a touchdown in for the other. I can feel it.
Slap bet?
No.
Okay, so not that confident.
Not that confident.
The most important thing is Joe Burrow stopped us from having to see Jackson Mahomes twerk at the Super Bowl, and that's really all America needed.
Yeah, I saw so many memes about Jackson Mahomes and what's his wife's name, Brittany?
I think it's just his girlfriend. I don't think they're married.
I think they're married. They got a kid, the whole nine.
I mean, you don't have to be married to have a kid.
Well, no, you're right. I'm just saying. I think that he has both a wife and a daughter.
Maybe. I just thought it was his girlfriend.
Well, either way, we won't have to see them anymore.
Yeah, she's awful, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm gonna withhold judgment on her.
She's cringy.
Yeah, she's supportive though. It's not. I think don't pay attention to socials. So, but Jackson's awful.
Okay, fiance.
Oh, they're engaged. Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit column A, a little bit column B.
Yeah. Right in the middle.
So Patrick, there's still time to get out.
It's not, bro. I'm telling you, you can't. I don't think she's an issue. I think his brother is the biggest problem.
They're both issues, dude.
Oh well.
They're together.
That is neither here nor there. So as you guys know, for the month of February, we're doing like rom-coms, we're doing romantic movies, love movies, whatever you want to call them. It's kind of our focus for the month. Jarrett gave me a pretty solid classic love story. I gave him more of a rom-com.
Mhm.
Both are Mel Gibson movies, right? Oh no, sorry. I was thinking of Mad Max. You had a Mel Gibson movie though, right?
Yeah, I mean, What Women Want is a Mel Gibson movie.
I was just making sure. It's been a while since I've seen it. So,
Yeah.
but I got Pride and Prejudice, and that's Keira Knightley,
Hmm.
2005 banger. It's a classic. Everybody knows it. Love story. So Jared, do you want to go first here, or do you want me
Sure,
to go first? How
I'll
do you
go.
want to do? Okay.
I'll go first, and then I'll go first with Everybody's a Critic.
Okay. Cool.
Or you can go first with Everybody's a Critic. Sorry.
Either way is fine.
Yeah. So you gave me What Women Want with Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt, a couple other actors and actresses that I could recognize but never knew their names. I'm not gonna pull up the IMDb for it. It's your quintessential '90s rom com. Uh, it's got Mel Gibson. He's a head of marketing or a big marketing firm. He thinks he's going to get promoted. Every ad he runs is basically just the typical male ideals, right? So hot chicks in waterfalls wearing skimpy bikinis. And that's what he's made his career off of. That's what the market likes. But then turns out the market is actually becoming more female oriented. So they bring in Helen Hunt, who actually takes the promotion that he thought he was going to get. And she gives him this task of making markets or making commercials for all these feminine products, pantyhose, Wonder Bras, things like that. He is trying them on, trying to figure out how to do this because, he doesn't think like a woman. Gets in an accident where he gets electrocuted by dropping a hair dryer into a bathtub full of water. And then he wakes up the next day with the ability to hear women's thoughts and essentially treats it like a superpower. He becomes every woman's favorite guy because he can answer all their questions, and he becomes super sentimental and all of this to get his job or get the promotion back and essentially get Helen Hunt to lose her job. So he starts snaking her ideas out from under her without her even knowing it because he can hear her thinking. And essentially in that whole process, in typical rom-com fashion, he and Helen Hunt fall in love. He actually finds out that thinking or hearing all women's thoughts has made him a better, more sentimental person, and makes him a better person overall. And yeah, they end up happily ever after.
Okay. Was it like you remembered it? Like, did you think it was a good movie then as opposed to now? Does it still?
It was good. There were some funny parts. I like Mel Gibson. He's a really good actor. I really like Helen Hunt. There were some funny scenes. It was kind of like Shallow Hal.
Oh, I was thinking that. I was literally gonna say that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But like, I guess it was like a previous generation Shallow Hal because it came out when I was too young to call it mine. Right. And we got Shallow Hal probably in my middle school, high school age.
Yeah.
So it's a good movie. I give it like a 3 out of 5. It's not stellar. It's good to throw on. It's got some laughs. It really, I know the whole purpose of the movie is like, oh, if you're more understanding of women's thoughts and feelings, then like you can probably get more women. But in all actuality, he was still rich and looked like Mel Gibson. So I think that had more to do with it.
I can see we're gonna have similar themes in our in our discussions because something in Pride and Prejudice very much made me think that exact same thing.
Yeah, I will tell you that I had forgotten, or maybe I just didn't realize who she was until later now. But Marissa Tomei
Oh yeah,
was in that movie.
she's in the movie.
Yeah, she was a one night stand. He had. She worked at a coffee shop.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I would have probably not recognized her had not been for Aunt May and all this stuff later. But
We love
it's
Marissa Tomei. She's awesome.
yeah, it's funny. Like if you're a rom com fan, I think this is your quintessential 90s rom com, very thematic to probably a bunch of other stuff. So
Sure. Okay, cool. Well, you know, that movie came out in 2000. I didn't realize that it was
close enough to be 90s.
that long ago.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't correcting you at all.
Oh yeah, 22 years.
I just realized that it's been out that long. That's pretty wild. So this week, you gave me Pride and Prejudice, and I hadn't seen that movie. I think it came out in 2005, and I want to say I watched it in like ninth grade in English class.
Probably.
And so it had been a hot minute since I'd seen it, and even then, I probably wasn't paying attention because I was a dumb high school kid. I tell you, I enjoyed a lot of the dialogue in the movie. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Pride and Prejudice, it's based on a Jane Austen novel, right?
Yes.
Based on a Jane Austen novel, and the main character, Elizabeth, is one of 5 daughters that her parents, they come from humble means, are trying to marry off. And this is, I want to say 19th century Britain, England.
Yeah.
Essentially, it is a love story between 2, I guess, unlikely people in Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth. They kind of butt heads early. They, later on they fall in love. He realizes he's in love with her, the whole 9. So my biggest thing with this movie that I just absolutely didn't like was the mother. You recently saw this, right?
Yeah.
I could not stand her mom. She was the most annoying person, obnoxious, like the way she was, what's the word I'm looking for when people, they care about like what their neighbors think about them. So she's like a incorrigible gossip, right?
Yeah.
So she's constantly talking about her daughters and their prospects and how she's expecting a marriage to some rich, suitor. She was intolerable throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, obviously we look at it through, I'll say rose-colored glasses because, we think you marry for love and stuff like that. But I think that's just how it operated.
No, I'm not saying it didn't operate that way at all.
Because like even in like the Cyrano trailers, the mom of the main actress in, or the main love interest in Cyrano is talking about how she shouldn't marry for love. She should marry for
status. Money. Right.
Yeah, because, she's poor. And so you marry for money so you're well off and taken care of and
right.
So forth and so on. So I think as I get the mom for Pride and Prejudice being annoying, but I just think that's status quo for.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think then it was acceptable to marry for status, marry for position, monetary gain, financial gain, whatever you want to call it, fiscal stability. It's not. That's not the principle. Is not what I had an issue with. Mm-hmm. It was the way she, like, it was her whole personality. I think she was designed that way. I think she was designed for you to not like her.
Yeah,
because it was part of the reason why the older sister didn't marry the other rich guy.
Right.
Mr. What's his name? Starts with a G. It starts with a B. Mr. Bingley.
Yeah.
And so it was the whole reason why they didn't marry was because Mr. Darcy essentially said, your family, especially your mom and your little sisters, are awful. they're awful to be around. Like nobody wants that. So, yeah, that was one of those things. But she did a great job as an actress. Like I really disliked her. I think that was the whole point. I don't think you're supposed to like her at all. So as an actress, like her performance was really good. Keira Knightley was awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
I got really mad at Mr. Darcy for saying that she looked plain. I was visibly upset. I wanted to punch him. I've never met him. He's probably a nice person.
Yeah.
In real life. But I wanted to hit Mr. Darcy because you don't say that about Keira Knightley.
Yeah, ever. Out of all the women in the world, Keira Knightley is far from plain.
Yeah. Yeah, she was probably the most attractive person on set.
Yeah, well, probably.
You know?
Yeah.
So whatever. Don't call her plain. Donald Sutherland, probably my favorite character in the entire movie. The dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
My camera. Okay. So they had a situation early on in the movie where essentially the heir to the house that they lived at was going to this gentleman who was their cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this was common practice, I'm sure. He proposed to Elizabeth, and he was just awful.
Yeah.
Just super awkward.
He's the worst, man.
He was just not cool. Not yeah, no cool, no chill.
Yeah, no chill.
And the mom was like, Are you crazy for wanting to turn that down? Are you nuts? You're gonna be well taken care of. And Keira Knightley's like, nah, like I ain't about it.
Yeah.
Well, dad comes out because the mom's like, talk some sense into your daughter, right? Well, dad goes out there and said, look, if you don't marry this guy, your mom will not speak to you ever again. You will not have anything to do with one of your parents. But if you do marry him, then I won't have anything to do with you. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Dad, dude, Donald Sutherland's character was awesome in this movie. He was great.
He was very likable. I think my favorite and why I love the movie so much, the scene where Elizabeth chases out to the promenade during the rain.
Yeah.
Mr. Darcy, like that entire dialogue and the way it was portrayed, like pushed that movie so over the top. Like to get so invested and just like in a monologue was one of my favorite things.
Oh yeah, it was their dialogue throughout was probably my favorite part of the movie. Honestly, the way they spoke to each other, you could tell that they were both. I'm not gonna say academic; they were intellectual. Like they were on a different plane than most of the other characters in the movie. I think that was by design. Her younger sisters were kind of annoying,
but they were just both hard-headed as hell.
Yeah,
and it's just like neither one of them. It was kind of like, what was it, Kaguya, where if you admit you like them, you lose all the power in the relationship.
Yeah, and
so they were just steadfast. I'm not going to say I love you first, and then it just bullheaded.
No, I agree. Hattie says, yes, best book ever. Keira Knightley does a great role in the story. Yeah, I think so too.
Well, Hattie's obviously never read The Cat in the Hat. So.
Yeah. Yeah, she just wanted to point out that she reads books.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Hattie. Thank you for tuning in. But no, look, the movie was great all the way around. I think the dialogue's probably the strongest part of the movie. The thing that I like the best about it, especially between her and Mr. Darcy, it was really fun. Yeah, I gave this movie a 4 out of 5. I think it should be watched by most people or all people who love the genre. It is a really cool love story in a time period that we're not very familiar with. And I think that you can also kind of learn, what things were like, especially in a different country. And it was very cool. It was very cool. And you were right. The chick from the redheaded chick, the sister from the show that we watch, Yellowstone. I forget her
Oh,
name.
Beth Dunham.
Yes, yes. She's in the movie, and I thought she did a really good job. She plays a really good snob,
Yeah, she is just easily uppity.
she's she does a good job of making you dislike her on
Mhm.
screen.
Yeah.
So kudos to her as well. I thought it was casted well. I don't think there was too many casting choices I didn't like. I think maybe Mr. Not Dunham. What was his name? The guy that originally proposed, the weird guy,
Oh,
the cousin. You know who I'm talking about?
yeah. I don't didn't pay
Oh,
much attention.
not Wickham. Mr. Collins. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was played by Tom Hollander. He looks familiar. I feel like I've seen him somewhere. Um, but yeah, no. Overall, great movie. 4 out of 5. Highly recommend. You should watch if you haven't. If you have, you should probably watch it again because it's a good watch. So that's all I got for Pride and Prejudice this week.
All right. You got a movie for me for next week?
I do. And because you gave me a classic love story, I will return the favor. I will give you The Notebook.
The Notebook.
Little Nicholas Sparks action.
Anything with Rachel McAdams, I'm okay with.
All right. All right. So what do you got for me?
I also have a classic.
Is it The Notebook?
No.
Okay, good.
No one puts baby in a corner.
Dirty Dancing?
Dirty Dancing.
Let's get it.
A little Patrick Swayze, God bless. And God rest his soul.
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, a little
I can dig it. Roadhouse. That was one of my favorite movies growing up, by the way. Just so
Dude, Roadhouse is sweet.
It's such a man's movie.
Yeah, and then Sam Elliott.
You know? Sam Elliott.
What a great guy, dude.
All right, so we got Patrick Swayze. Nobody puts baby in a corner. A little Dirty Dancing. My mom's gonna love that. Actually, I think that was her favorite movie.
That's my mom's favorite.
Way back when.
Yeah, I think it must be a thing. It just must be a thing.
It's a mom thing. So, all right, cool. Well, we got something to look forward to next week.
Yeah.
That being said, you want to hop into? Would you like to hop into our Everyone's a Critic?
Yes. All right. So, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first, but you got to give me the questions.
Sure.
So, our topic this week in our Everyone's a Critic book, which I left at home. So Jared's going to give me the questions and I'll answer them. Was low budget, high
big box office.
Big box office. Yeah, low budget, big box office. And these are movies that didn't cost a lot to produce, but did pretty well in the box office. I selected Mad Max since we're doing movies that we haven't seen before, and it was on the list of low budget, big box office, type movies. This was a movie that made a comeback. I think originally it did poorly, and then did well in foreign countries.
Right.
Came back to the States and made kind of had sort of a reawakening here in the States. So it became kind of a cult classic. But yeah, so I picked Mad Max, and this was 1979.
Yep.
Mel Gibson, who's the only real notable actor in the film. This was his coming out party. This was the movie that kind of put him on the map. So it's a very young Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, the movie is set in the future, and I guess he's a police officer, but like everything's done on the road. It's a very weird. Anyways, it's kind of hard to follow the story, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's typical of movies that were made in that time period, but
I think it's just the movie. I mean, very dystopian. Just
yeah.
Like I said, hadn't really been done before. So
yeah. So let me tell you what I thought about this movie. I thought it was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, you said you were giving it 1.5 stars, right?
I'm giving it 1.5 stars. I respect what it was able to do with not a lot of money. And Mel Gibson was perfectly fine to watch. I think the best part of the movie was Mel Gibson, but the guy who played the goose, who I don't even know who that was.
Yeah.
He was kind of fun to watch. He was like a fun, like comic relief sort of hothead. And so I enjoyed his performance. Fife, the captain, was just weird, off-putting. I didn't like his character. I didn't like his role. Any of the dialogue. Didn't like the dialogue of the movie. It was just I found it very hard to appreciate, and that's tough because I whenever I go into these things watching a new movie that's widely considered to be pretty good. I mean, this got a 6.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which to me is I'm literally befuddled. I have no idea how anybody could score that close to a 7. I mean, if that's a 7, Kevin Costner is 12 out of 10. I don't know.
You mean Dennis Quaid?
I mean Dennis Quaid. Sorry,
I was about to say, what do you have against Kevin Costner? I like Kevin Costner.
Sorry, my brain's but yeah, Dennis Quaid, 12 out of 10. If this is a 7 out of 10, so give me some of the questions, not the who wrote it stuff. Just give me
did it win any awards?
This movie, 5 wins and 8 nominations.
I mean, were they wins of any significance, or were they like the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards?
It won an Australian Film Institute. So, like I said, it did well overseas. Not so much here.
Well, probably
actually, I think it takes place in Australia. I think that's why.
Yeah, because Australia is like 40 years behind us.
Yeah, that actually might explain a whole lot.
Yeah.
Now that we say that. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, nothing good.
Was there a character that you identified with?
Yeah, I probably the Goose.
The Goose?
Yeah.
Was it because he was the comedic relief?
Well, no, it's not so much that as it was that he was he had a little, he was a little hot-headed at times in the film. I related to that a little bit, the maddest he got was when one of the criminals that he had caught like lawyered up, and they just let him walk out the front door, and he was visibly pissed off about it, and chased him out with like a billy club. So I appreciated his role. It wasn't long lived. He saw a similar ending to Goose in Top Gun.
Oh yeah. I've never seen the movie, so I'm glad you watched it, so I don't have to.
Yeah, don't.
Are you going to watch the second one, Welcome to the Thunderdome?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to watch any Mad Max movie ever again, probably.
I don't know. I heard
like the 2015 one. I don't even want to watch that.
I don't know. I heard that one was really good. That won a couple Oscars.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I might have to.
It's got Charlize Theron and Ed Hardy. So
yeah. I feel like that's a very Charlize Theron
movie,
movie, though. I feel like that's her vibe.
Yeah.
We
like her and Tom Hardy.
I'm not a big Charlize Theron person, to be honest.
I think she's good.
Have you seen Kill Bill? I didn't.
No.
Yeah. I thought it was awful.
Is she in Kill Bill?
2, volume 2, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I was like, I know that's Uma Thurman, and I hate Uma Thurman.
Actually, that might be who I'm thinking of, Uma Thurman. Now that you say that.
Yeah, Charlize Theron was the bad guy in the Fast movies.
Yeah. I got you.
And she was in Hancock.
Yeah. I actually don't mind her. Sorry. It was Uma Thurman.
I
feel like they look alike.
No.
They have to, right?
Uma Thurman looks like Big Bird. But
that's just mean.
Just look at her.
Yeah. I can't stop looking at your Ted Lasso shirt, by the way.
Believe.
That's awesome. But yeah, so I actually saw a couple different movies in this movie. I saw Top Gun, right, with a lot of the mannerisms. The Goose reference was kind of cool. And then this is going to surprise you, but the Saw movies.
That makes sense.
So there's a scene where Mel Gibson's going on this rampage because his kid they just killed his kid, which I hated, by the way.
Yeah, you don't like that.
Yeah, it was awful. He was an infant too. He was like maybe 2 years old. So they killed his kid, messed up his wife pretty good, like pretty good. Like she didn't have an arm. It was bad.
That's why God gave you two of them.
Yeah. So, it's bad. So he went on a Archer-esque rampage.
Yep.
Where he was essentially trying to just kill everybody in this biker gang. And one of the guys that was bad, but maybe not quite as bad as the main bad guy. He's still bad. He kind of gave him a chance to live. He set up this trap of there's a gas leak, and he started a fire near the gas leak, and he was like, hey, he handed him a saw and said, you can try to cut through the shackles, which will take you about 10 minutes. But if you cut through your leg, it should take you about 5, and you might be able to live. And he just rides off in the distance, and the car blows up. And now, it was very Saw-esque setup, and I guess execution as well. So yeah, a little bit of that.
That's fair.
So that was cool.
Was there a best line or memorable quote?
I think the best line was probably what I was talking about earlier with the goose.
Yeah.
He had said he'd gotten in a bike accident, and some guy picked him up and said, man, you were lucky. And he was like, don't count me out until you see me in the box, until they put my box in the ground or something like that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. The one that came up, because I looked on IMDb, the quote that came up here was in reference to the scene I was just talking about. And it says, the chain in those handcuffs is high tensile steel. It'll take you 10 minutes to hack through it with this. Now, if you're lucky, you could hack through your ankle in 5 minutes. Go. And that was it. That was the scene. But yeah, the movie, 1.5 stars. Not good. Oh, was there more questions? I'm sorry.
I mean, the only other ones that were different than the other ones were, do you think it would have been better with a larger budget? And how would you spend the money if it did have a larger budget?
I don't know that it would be better with a larger budget. And I say that because I don't think the screenplay was written well.
Right.
If you gave me a bigger budget to make that movie, I'd invest it in a better screenwriter, somebody who's a little more well known in the scene.
Okay.
And then obviously some special effects stuff. But I mean, it was 1979. I mean,
Star Wars came out in like 72. So.
Yeah, special effects. I'd probably invest in some of those.
Yeah. Call up George.
Yeah, somebody, because that was tough to watch, man. It was really it's an hour and a half, but that's a long hour and a half.
Yeah, when you feel an hour and a half,
like
that's not
I wanted it out bad.
I respect it.
So, but yeah, that was my Everyone's a Critic. Not a good week for me. But I think you had a pretty good, highly regarded movie.
I'll say I had an interesting week.
Okay.
So I did American Psycho. The cast was great. It was one of those I didn't realize everyone was in it until I saw it. Christian Bale's the main. I'm not going to call him a protagonist. He's the main thing. It's got William Dafoe, Reese Witherspoon, Jared Leto.
Willem Dafoe's been coming up a lot.
Even though now, granted, Dafoe and Jared Leto aren't in it a ton, but they're not like, I didn't even recognize Jared Leto. Like I saw his name in the opening credits.
Yeah. And
then I saw his character and I was like, dude, he's so young.
Really?
Because this movie was made in 1999, debuted at Sundance in 2000.
Oh, wow.
So again, another 23-year-old movie. And so lots changed for Jared Leto and all of them.
That was an indie movie?
Yeah.
Sick.
$7 million budget, made him like 35, 36-ish in theaters.
Nice.
It's about Patrick Bateman, what you would think is the normal vice president of acquisitions and mergers of some firm. Uh, he lives the high life of drinking and spending money and having sex with beautiful women.
So is Leonardo DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street?
Not as over the top as that, but you could tell he was, had a penthouse apartment. He was well to do. Women loved him, things like that. And then in his free time, he was a serial killer.
Oh, neat. So not like Leo.
Not like Leo
Wolf of Wall Street.
In Wolf of Wall Street. So the thing about Christian Bale's amazing in the movie. Like, he plays the role so well that sometimes you're like, is he acting? Could Christian Bale like do this in his spare time and not care type thing? But that's just how good I think Christian Bale is.
Right.
And the thing about the movie is we never know what's real and what's not. So like Patrick Bateman will say something like, he gets a smart ass answer from a bartender once. And he's like, I could kill you and play with your blood. But there's no reaction to it. So you don't know if it's something he actually said or if it's something like his inner monologue is happening.
Right.
And then as the movie progresses, you don't know if he's actually killing these people or if it's just something his conscience wants to do. Like,
yikes.
And because like he goes on this like whole killing spree and then just goes to work the next day and people act like nothing happened, even though he like admits to doing it. They're like, no, dude, that wasn't you on the phone. Like, you're not actually, like, you're not Patrick Bateman. And it's a whole mind fuck.
Wow.
At the end of the movie. So you have to go back and think like, what actually did I just watch for an hour 45?
Right.
Because even like at the beginning of the movie, he talks about not feeling human. Like, he's like, I got human characteristics, but
sounds like Dexter.
Yeah, it's very similar. I could see where Dexter might have taken some liberties from this idea.
Right.
As far as I gave the movie like a 3.5 to 4. Cool. It's not going to be for everybody. It is a harsh movie. The dialogue is rough. There's, as far as like memorable quotes, if you were tuned in when we first started, you might have heard one, but I won't repeat it. But there's just like a scene where he's doing cocaine. I think like one of my favorite quotes from the movie was, they're at this like party and they have these stalls where you can just go do cocaine. And he's talking to his buddy in the stall, and some dude looks over the stall door. He's like, could you guys shut the fuck up? I'm trying to do drugs. And I was like, dude, what is this dialogue?
That's wild.
Yeah, it is. It's a ride for sure. I gave it more 3.5 to 4 than a 3.
Yeah.
Because I think there's way more levels to the movie that if I like did some research in,
maybe watch it a couple times.
Yeah, would explain it. Like, I'm you've probably seen the scene because it's like spoofed on TikTok a lot, where for like 5 minutes there's just these guys comparing their business cards, and he gets super tilted because one guy's business card is better than his, and it's like, because he was like, he used eggshell instead of white, and it even has a fucking watermark. And it's just so weird. And so like there's his weird infatuations with like music. Like one of the scenes where he's committing a murder, he's talking about Phil Collins the entire time and about how he didn't like Genesis because he thought it was pretentious, but now that he's older, he understands, and like goes through his whole discography about Phil Collins. So he has a weird music infatuation. He's got a really big thing about having reservations at restaurants. So I think it's like, if I actually read into and watch someone like explain it to me that's seen the movie 4 or 5 times, it's a movie that I could definitely say is a 4, but I gave it like a 3.5 again. It's not for the light of heart.
Sure.
You got to be used to some darker stuff. It's a darker tone movie.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, you'd have to watch some clips because Christian Bale acts like super normal.
Well, Christian Bale is one of those guys that comes up a lot too. At least he has recently, and he's a phenomenal talent. Christian Bale is amazing in pretty much anything he's in. He's been good for so long. It's hard to deny that kind of his body of work. So you know what you're getting when you get a Christian Bale film. You're probably going to get a very, very good performance. I've gotten to be with Christian Bale kind of like how you are with Leo, where anything he's in, I'm expecting like cream of the crop, like the top notch. So that's something that
it was a role that I couldn't picture like anyone else pulling off as well as he did. So
kudos.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it needed a bigger budget. I'm just looking at some of the questions.
Well, let's hope he's not a method actor,
Yeah, for sure. Didn't need a bigger budget. I wouldn't have spent it on anything. It was a novel first, so it was transitioned to film.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I think it's not a high special effects movie. I mean, they just live in the real world. It's nothing that needed to go above and beyond. I think it was, if you're going to portray it that way, I think it's the best way to do it.
Sure. So. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed the movie that you had.
Yes.
That makes one of us, because Mad Max was just absolutely atrocious.
But
that was our movie this week. What's our topic next week?
A film starring animals.
A film starring animals. All right. I think mine was Old Yeller, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's correct.
Let me make sure, though. I'm pulling up my list now. Yep, 1957, Old Yeller. Like I said, I'd only seen some clips from that movie. Obviously, the story is well known, something that I've heard numerous times, but never actually watched the full film. So I'll do that. And then what did you go with this week?
This was one that I didn't have yet, because I'm trying to find a movie that I want to watch that I haven't seen, because I don't want to fall back on, Free Willy.
Right.
Because I've seen that.
You should watch the RDJ's Dr. Dolittle.
I've seen it.
Yeah, and it was god awful. Oh, it was so bad.
It wasn't good.
It was so bad, Jared.
It had John Cena in it, though.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It wasn't good.
That changes nothing.
That's true.
John Cena is not a good. He's not a good actor.
Dude, you can't watch Peacemaker and tell me he's not a good actor.
He's not a good actor. He's comedic, right?
He's funny. That's all you need him to be.
That doesn't make him a good actor.
Will Ferrell's not a good actor. He's just funny.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
You're right.
I know.
I was just trying to think, but I think you're right. But from what I hear, the TV show he's in, I think maybe with Paul Rudd, My Therapist.
Oh yeah, the Apple TV.
Yes. Yeah, his acting actually looks really strong in that.
Yeah, well, John Cena's great in Peacemaker.
But he's not.
Great.
He's funny.
He's
great funny.
He's
but
great.
Not great acting.
He's great. He was great in Cock Blockers.
Okay, cool. So you need a movie with an animal.
Yeah.
That you haven't seen.
Yeah.
I got nothing. Have you seen Life of Pi?
Yes.
Oh, I was going to say that's a really good one. Are you Googling?
Yeah.
Animal movies. See, guys, let me tell you guys how prepared we are.
I said this last week.
Well, yeah, but now you got to announce the movie, and we don't have one. You know.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got you. I
No,
got you.
I got it. Don't worry
Do
about it.
you?
I figured it out.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did right now.
Homeward Bound.
No, I don't want to cry.
Oh yeah, that is.
That's a sad ass
Yeah,
movie.
you've seen it though too, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna watch
No, I'm gonna watch Rampage.
Rampage.
Yeah.
It's Rampage.
It's got The Rock in it and the big gorilla.
Oh, I like The Rock.
I bet that movie's bad though.
Probably, but The Rock probably does it good. You should watch a Planet of the Apes movie.
I've seen all of them.
No, you have not. You haven't seen all of them, guaranteed. You haven't seen the old 1940s Planet of the Apes movies. There's no way.
I know I've seen the first one.
Have you actual?
Yeah.
That's tip of the cap. Kudos to you.
Yeah, and I saw the remake with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, everybody's seen the remake,
Yeah.
but nobody watches some people do, but like the Return of the Planet of the Apes or
Oh no, I haven't seen those.
all the extra.
But there's literally a picture of him kissing a monkey on here. So I'm gonna watch Rampage.
Fair enough. So it looks like next week there's one of us is gonna really enjoy their movie and one of us is not.
I'll still probably enjoy it because it's The Rock with a giant gorilla and like a Godzilla type thing.
Sure, and he's kissing it.
No, that's Planet of the Apes.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Planet of the Apes has the dude making out with the monkey picture.
Oh.
Like if you just Google Planet of the Apes and go to images, it's the third picture.
It's like kissing your dog. You know, everybody kisses their dog.
Not like this, dude. This is intimate.
This is sensual. All right. Well, have fun with Rampage. So yeah, we got a couple movies we're gonna watch this week. I will be to recap. I will be watching what love movie did you give me again?
How could you forget so quick?
Because we're talking about other stuff.
Dirty Dancing.
Oh yeah, Dirty Dancing. I'll be watching Dirty Dancing and Old Yeller.
Mm-hmm.
And Jared, if you could recap what you will be watching this week.
I'll be watching Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, I forgot. Hold on. No, I flamed you. Give me
the Notebook.
Oh yeah, give me a Notebook. We're talking about Rachel McAdams.
Yeah.
Because when you said that, I was like, Rachel McAdams did that and Mean Girls in the same year.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a good year for her.
It was. Do you like your muffin buttered? Anyways, seen that one too.
Yeah. 3 for you, Gun Coco. You go, Gun Coco.
Oh goodness.
Today
that's like but me that movie's like an iconic
funny. Dude, that movie, yeah, it is a generational movie.
It really is. So hats off to those guys. That movie was awesome. And still to this day, probably one of the most quoted movies. Like classic movie classics. It
still pops up every like October 3rd. It's like today he asked me what day it is. It's October 3rd. And my Facebook just blows up with it every year.
Fair enough. I'm actually are we good for the day? I'm actually
are we going to are we doing a new binge worthy? Or are we going
to we should let's give it one more week.
Okay, one more week.
And then next week we'll have a new show that'll give us time to actually prepare, which we're gonna do.
Yeah.
So
we're always prepared. We just don't know at what order that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're preparing right now for it.
Yeah.
Just chatting about it.
Easy.
Getting ready for it. So let's give it one more week. Okay. That'll give us kind of a short little hiatus from doing the binge worthy segment, and then we'll get back into it with a brand new show. And we will not announce that yet. We will announce.
I already have one picked out for us.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, would you like to announce?
No, we can wait a week.
Okay, that works. We'll wait a week. We'll hold off. But in the meantime, Jared, if you could, would you talk about our socials?
Yeah.
What do we have? We have a bunch of stuff now.
Yeah, we've added a ton of stuff to the repertoire, if you will.
Good word.
We have our Facebook.
Yes, we do.
If you search for Silence Your Cell Phones under the subcategory podcast,
Sure.
You'll find us there. We obviously have YouTube. If you could please like and subscribe, that helps us out a lot. We're at 15 subscribers, so that's actually pretty great. Thank you. Please share it to everyone you think likes movies or wants to talk about movies. We have a Instagram, Silence Your Cell Phones. We have a Gmail, Silence Your Cell Phone, no S if you want to email us. And then I don't handle the Twitter.
So I actually handle the Twitter. The Twitter is Silenced Phone.
Silenced Phone.
But if you just search Silence Your Cell Phones, we'll pop up.
Comes up per usual.
Yeah, so you'll see our new logo. Big shout out to David Hammond.
Yeah, thank you so much, David. We also have sorry.
I was going to say we also have a Patreon now.
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to say?
That was what I was going to say.
Great minds. We have a Patreon now, which we will be doing some different content for just our Patreon members. So it's a cool way to engage more with us. There's tons of benefits to becoming a member. There's different tiers, so you'll have access to different things. The higher you go. So yeah, we've got a ton of stuff popping right now. And like Jarrett said, please like, share, subscribe on YouTube. It's a tremendous help, and we really appreciate all of the love and support we've been given so that we can continue doing this stuff.
Yes. For next week's episode also, it is going to be on a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. We will have a guest. One, the only, Dane McGlone.
Yes.
He is our resident film, award guru. I would say he probably pays attention to the Oscars and Golden Globes and things like that much more closely than we do. So we're going to have him on here. I think next Tuesday, actually, we get the Oscar nominees. So we'll kind of get the live reactor day of react with him, pick his brain, see what he's watched over the past year, just kind of catch up with him. Dane's a good friend of mine. So we're excited to have him.
Yeah, Dane's good people. And you guys have heard his name before. He's kind of all over our social medias. He's regularly participating with us and giving us some insights. Anytime I post about a movie, there's always a Dane comment underneath. I think today I said something about the other side, the song on the P.T. Barnum musical. I forget names right now.
The Greatest Showman.
Thank you. The Greatest Showman. And he got mad at me, and he said that it was not the best song in the musical. And I said,
but it 100% is the best song.
Yeah, but like he said, this is me. And I'm like, that's basic.
Yeah, dude, that's
because everybody says that, whatever the original Dane.
They're talking about me in that song. I misunderstood.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Yeah.
So, but no, Dane's good people. I'm looking forward to having him on the show. His insight is going to be welcome. Something that I'm not as familiar with is movie awards, the Screen Guild, the Oscars, the whatever. I've never really paid attention.
But I think I'll be more prepared for this Oscar season.
Yes.
Because I feel like will have seen majority of everything they talk about. Like, I know I still need to see Belfast.
Yeah.
Because I know that's going to be all over it. I need to see it. And then
Cyrano.
Yes. Tomato.
Whatever. I actually thought you were saying it wrong for the longest time.
No. I have the soundtrack on my phone.
Already?
Yeah.
You downloaded the soundtrack before you saw the movie?
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Well, I had to because I saw the trailer and the song got stuck in my head. So I had to listen to it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've got a couple I need to watch, but for the most part, I think with us, with the podcast and doing all this stuff, like it just naturally prepared us for the award season. So
yeah, I've also pushed myself way more to watch more Oscar-y movies than in the past.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oscars, the movie of the week is Jackass Forever.
Yes.
So it's
Speaking
almost
of Oscars.
It's almost in the same category. It's either that or Moonfall.
Yeah, but it's Jackass without Bam Margera, so big sad.
Yeah, well, he did it to himself.
He did.
But Bam's not nearly as important as Johnny Knoxville
Knoxville.
and Steve-O.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're the heroes.
They are.
I will be out of town until Sunday.
Yes.
So maybe.
Can I say something real fast?
Yeah.
This is to Mr. Scott Hubbard. I'm wishing you a very happy birthday. Much love, man.
Yeah, he doesn't know I'm coming. So I'm surprising him Friday. But I know for a fact he doesn't watch this. So.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. I'm sitting there like, oh.
Yeah, but it's cool. Or by the time he probably does watch it, it'll be.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Whatever. Your dad
so
doesn't love us.
Yeah, or he doesn't know how to work YouTube very well.
That's more sense.
That's what I tell myself to go to sleep, not crying.
Okay, that's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah, so either Sunday night or maybe Monday night we'll need to catch it because I work until 7:30, so I won't catch the 7:00 Jackass tomorrow.
We'll make it happen either way.
Yeah, well, there's nothing on Sunday night anyway. It's like I said, no one wants to watch the Pro Bowl, and I'm sure the Senior Bowl's earlier in the afternoon. So.
Yeah, I probably won't watch it. I was just
talking out your ass, then, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah, dude, I hate you.
Lies.
I think that's everything unless you wanted to add something.
No, that's all I got, brother. Go ahead and sign us off.
All right. Until next week, guys, and sing. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and cut this live thing before Andrew says
I did that.
Generate again.
Yeah.